So the opening session for this year's ISC conference was devoted to a celebration of the anniversary of the publication of the tPA trial. 25 years ago, the tPA for acute stroke study paper was published in the New England Journal of Medicine and really changed the way we think about acute stroke permanently. It took a while for the results to be disseminated, both at ISC and through other AHA-sponsored venues. But eventually, over several years, tissue plasminogen activator became standard treatment for acute ischemic stroke. So John Marler, who had been the leader of the study behind the scenes, was honored by presenting today sort of the history of the trial, how it came to be, and sort of discussing the results and the impact of those results. John Marler was at NINDS at the time. NINDS sponsored the trial. It is known as the NINDS tPA for acute stroke trial. John reflected both on the science and also on his personal involvement in the trial as a mentor to many of us who are now with our own careers and trying to be as successful in the field. Now, this meeting also marks the 5th anniversary of another important development in acute ischemic stroke, the development of neurointervention, and Dr. Tudor Jovin was introduced and honored as a leader in that field and presented a similar perspective.
Yes, and I was honored, of course, to speak alongside Dr. Marler, to be invited at this very important and sort of momentous session, because it really marks the advent of two major developments in the treatment of stroke, actually arguably the most important developments in the last decades. And I was privileged and lucky to be part of the ones, one of many who have been at the forefront of this development through clinical trials, initially as the co-principal investigator of the Revascat trial in the first generation of positive trials, and subsequently as the co-principal investigator of the Dawn trial. The endovascular trials are a natural succession to the intravenous tPA trial. Intravenous tPA has been of critical importance for the field, still is, it's not going anywhere, and it has sort of opened up the field to an aggressive way of thinking about acute stroke. It has opened up the field to an attitude and a knowledge that opening up these blocked vessels in the brain in a timely manner leads to better outcomes. Unfortunately, intravenous tPA doesn't work as well for larger vessels. For that kind of blockages, thrombectomy in conjunction with tPA is something that we know now is of great benefit. There are many developments that are that will lead to perhaps a synergy between intravenous tPA and thrombectomy. There are several trials now that are ongoing that examine the role of intravenous thrombolysis in conjunction with endovascular therapy. Just like with endovascular therapy, there's now proof that we are breaking the time barriers with intravenous thrombolysis as well, just because the rate of reperfusion, the rate of opening up these large vessels with tPA is lower than with thrombectomy. It took us a bit longer to get there, but I view the intravenous and the thrombectomy story as two stories that go hand in hand and have been one of the great success stories in neurology.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, we open the session by looking backwards to celebrate what we've done, only to look forward at some fantastic science that will be presented at the rest of the meeting.